Good afternoon and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching the Rapture Gaming League and we are gonna see one game between Orange and MiTH as it is the second last game of the group stages. After this we'll be heading on into the playoffs, which will actually start in about 2 weeks now. 2 weeks from now after DreamHack, I mean. And Orange and MiTH so far they are on top of the group, so they have definitely nothing to worry about. They are already seeded into the semi-finals, and this game is mostly important for Orange, who will try to fight their way to the top as well, as they already made it to the playoffs as well, but they want to have a chance at being in the semi-finals rather than being seeded into the quarterfinals. Now, for Orange, that's not entirely up to them, as I just pointed out before the game as well. Also, the game that happens after this one will have an effect on that. After this game, we're going to see First Departure taking on Titan, and all 4 teams that we see today are in the top 4 of the group, with MiTH being number 1, First Departure 2nd, Orange 3rd, and Titan 4th. So, a lot of important matches for these teams today. We're going to see if MiTH can hold their own and can prove once again why they actually are on top of that group. Orange, it's an interesting story for them, because I mean the record they haven't really played all their games under this exact roster. They have changed their roster obviously recently, and actually I was looking up the games that they have played in 6.79, and there has only been one official match for Orange in 6.79. So not a lot of games to go on in terms of what they like to draft, what they like to play. MiTH has the same story. Well, not one game. They have played 3 games since the patch. So it's still all very, well, for me it's very new about how they're gonna play and what they're gonna be doing with their lineup. And I'm interested to see how they develop, how they developed in their scrims on this patch. So Orange, they've banned out the Bat Rider as well as the Nature's Prophet, just 2 controlling heroes removed from the pool. Picked up a Timber Saw themselves, so they have the first pick, and they will be having a strong one at that. Lich and Visage banned out by MiTH, no surprise there. And of course a couple of heroes that are still in the pool that we have seen quite a lot of lately are the 2 very strong supports, Venomancer and Crystal Maiden, as well as the Pugna, who's still in the pool as well. So we'll see if one of these heroes is going to get picked up in this first picking phase. As MiTH, they are actually quite sticking to their guns. Like I just said, they have played 3 games in 6.79. All 3 games they picked up a Clockwork. So this is the 4th game, and they have 100% pick rate for Clockwork. Now, I say pick rate because it's not necessarily win rate. They have actually only won 2 out of the 3 matches with that Clockwork, I believe. Yep, they have. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can increase that one, or if they are going to be dropping their win rate a bit. But so far, Clockwork and Alchemist, 2 strong picks. Alchemist, I'm expecting him to see him here as a carry, but we have seen him lately a bit more as support, so nothing is set in stone just yet for MiTH, as we've seen also Clockwork in different roles. He's been mid, he's been off lane, and well, MiTH, it's all up to them to see what they are going to do with that. And of course, with these 2 picks, all the solid real hard supports are still in the pool. Now Orange could choose to pick one up and then try to ban as many as they can in the next banning phase, just for them to secure their strong support, but perhaps they want to follow in MiTH's footsteps and not really give too much away about what they're planning on doing. Well, they do pick up a support. It is a Chen. We haven't seen Chen. I haven't seen Chen in a while. Let's just put it at that. We've mostly seen dual lanes being going out there, and a lot of Liches, if possible, to pick up. Crystal Maidens, Venomancer, just strong support combinations. But Chen is a bit more passive nowadays because of the dual lanes. It's not that easy anymore to gank with the Chen. So I'm interested to see how Orange is gonna deal with this. How Orange is gonna play with him. How aggressive they try to be early on, or how just passive they want to be. And also, of course, a lot of that depends on what kind of carry they pick up later on, as they ban out the Windrunner.
Radiant team banned.
Strong hero that they don't want to face. I think most of you people probably saw yesterday a certain solo mid Windrunner, which was a very enjoyable watch. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch some MLG VODs. They are definitely recommendable. We have a Rubik banned out, so a support banned out by Orange, no surprise there. Still those 2 other supports in the pool, of course, that I was talking about. Now, having said that, I do realize that In the case of MiTH Trust, they have picked up Crystal Maiden once, but no Venomancer. And for Orange, and I only mean about those 3 games in 6.79, obviously. For Orange, they only had 1 game, so I'm not sure how much we can actually take off the back of that one, as that 1 game as a support they had a Rubik and a Visage, but you know, both already banned out. So we'll see what they end up doing here. MiTH Trust, 1 more ban to go, and then they have the chance to pick up a hero. I'm really hoping that MiTH is going to try to go for a aggressive trial-in, as I really personally like to see that one. And maybe, therefore, like with doing that, punishing the Chen pickup. Making sure that Chen is forced to be around that aggressive trial-in as well, making sure that he cannot free farm in the jungle. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And of course, because Chen is picked up so early, MiTH Trust can definitely try to punish them for that. I mean, yeah, they could. They should, in my opinion. They really should. And there goes the Juggernaut. Removed from the pool. Pushing power removed from the pool with that as well. And there's your Crystal Maiden, finally. Was beginning to think she was going to get ignored, but nope, MiTH picks her up. Still not revealing what that Alchemist is going to do, but at least having now a solid support. I mean, in general, I would expect Clockwork to be on the off lane, or on the safe lane in this case, which I'm kind of hoping, but at least he's on the solo lane. Alchemist as a carry, which is not really a good carry to have on your aggressive trail lane, by the way, unfortunately for me. But Crystal Maiden as support there, definitely an option.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they could even put Clockwork mid. We've all seen it before. Orange thinking about their next pickup. Both teams using quite a bit of their bonus time already to think about what they are planning on doing here. And Orange just taking into some more bonus time just to prove me right. Thanks. So far, I mean, the only thing they really given away was that Chen. As in, given away what they wanted to be doing was that Chen to you know that they are gonna put him in the jungle. Wow, a Lion pickup. Not a hero that we often see, and the last couple of times that he actually was picked up, I believe that's only picked up because Shadow Shaman was banned out. But Lion, a lot of disable with him, and of course a high amount of burst. That is pretty scary if you're facing a hero that is generally building a blade mill. I'm talking about Clockwork in this one, of course, so Lion has to be careful about that one. It is at least a nice, handy ultimate when Alchemist is actually in his ultimate, just to try and burst him down as quickly as possible. Then that Lion is really coming in handy. And of course Crystal Maiden, I don't know, she's probably gonna be dead every time she sees Lion and he's got all his mana and his ultimate up. There's just no doubt about that one. If they're one-on-one, of course. Otherwise Lion will have different priorities. Let's take a look at what MiTH gets in return for that one. And if they, with this pick, give us a bit more of an idea of what that Alchemist is going to be doing here in this lineup. So far, I mean, Timbersaw could be mid, Clockwork could be mid, Lion could be mid, actually, we've seen that one as well. But I was thinking, like, indeed, we haven't seen really a typical mid pickup. Now, Pugna is not really a typical mid pickup. I like her mid. Him mid. I guess it's a him. Yeah, it's a him. So, Pugna is mostly played mid because he needs his levels. He is sometimes played on an aggressive trial lane because of his amount of pushing, and you can just, you know, blast your way through enemy lines and just take down towers real fast. I'm hoping that he'll be on a solo mid kind of scenario here, and in that case Orange, if they are going to be putting that Timbersaw there, Pugna's going to be having some issues there, because it's really tough to go up against a Timbersaw. There's nothing really that Pugna can do against him apart from blasting him away, which is of course, I mean, there's positive sides to this as well, because Timbersaw, who mostly relies on his reactive armor to stay alive, he won't be able to do anything against Pugna's blasts. So we'll see if that's indeed going to be our mid matchup, as Orange pick up a Luna, so that will be the safe lane farming. I mean, if you pick up a Chen, it's kind of inevitable that you're going to be having a safe lane there where your carry is going to be housing and not running an aggressive trial lane of some sort. So Luna will be the one farming top. Now, Lion is still potential to be up against a Pugna. Lion actually with a Pugna there, it's a bit tricky there, because as you all know, with Lion's ultimate, I mean, Finger of Death, amazing ultimate, but it's costly. And if Pugna has his ward up, it's very easy for Lion to actually end up killing himself, so he has to be really careful for that. So I really like the Pugna pickup for MiTH. who now ban out the Dragon Knight, apparently expecting that Timbersaw to be on the offlane, Lion to be a support, and therefore still a mid-hero
10
needed
seconds
up
remaining.
against that Pugna. While Orange ban out the Klings,
Radiant
perhaps
team
still
pick.
expecting a tri-lane coming off from Orange. I mean, Clockwork could be a support, Alchemist could be... Well, yeah, Clockwork could be a support with an Alchemist there and a Crystal Maiden on an aggressive tri-lane and a Klings on a safe lane. It's an option. You know which hero we're missing? Just being completely ignored, one that I was actually expecting to see at some point. I mean, he's not been that much in favor lately, but Weaver. Just
10
completely ignored at
seconds
this point.
remaining.
Now, if MiTH wants to be greedy, they could still pick
5
up that
seconds
that
remaining.
Weaver. I'm not really expecting it though. But considering they will be up against a
Reserve
Luna and a
time.
Timbersaw, they might want to have some extra carry potential. Well, I was really not expecting an
Dire team
anti-mage,
pick.
even though I was expecting another core. But an anti-mage pickup here means that Alchemist is not going to be the hardest carry to go around here, and probably is going to be played as a support. With Clockwork on the offlane, Crystal Maiden, anti-mage, Alchemist on the safe tri-lane. But they needed something that could carry hard, and they chose the anti-mage. So they've got quite a bit of mid-game
10 seconds remaining.
dominance with the help of the Clockwork and the Pugna there as well.
5
With the early
seconds
game,
remaining.
definitely an Alchemist Crystal Maiden dominance. And they have the late game with the
Reserve
anti-mage. So if they've got something for every phase of the game, and of course they are
5
going to try
seconds
to
remaining.
make sure that that's all fitted in perfectly. Orange, though, they're going to try to mess up that flow. They're going to try to mess it up with a Night Stalker, so that's going to be their last pick, and that means that we will see the Timbersaw on the offlane. Night Stalker should probably be made up against that Pugna. Let's take a look at who's playing what, as we will be jumping ourselves right into the match. Of course, once again, for all people that have joined us since the start of the game, you are watching the Rapture Gaming League. It's the best of one between Orange and MiTH Trust, and one of these two teams will take a point because they're still in the group stages. There's only 2 more matches left in the group stages. This is one of them. For MiTH Trust, they are already in the top 2. Everybody that you'll see today will already make it to the playoffs. The question is who they're gonna face. That's what they're fighting for, and they're also still fighting for that that spot in the
10
top 2,
seconds
because
remaining.
of the 6 teams that go to the qualifiers, the top 2 will get seeded into the
5
directly into the
seconds
semifinals,
remaining.
while the other 4 will be going to the quarterfinals. So for MiTH, they don't have to worry anymore. So perhaps they don't really have a pressure to perform well. For Orange, they need to win, and then they have to also be a bit reliant on the next game afterwards. This is not completely in their hands how they will end on this. But let's take a look at who is playing what before we have an unpause, even though we have a pause. We have got ourselves Buncel Roti playing the Pugna here. It's Ice Ship High, but it's Buncel Roti. SD will play the Alchemist, Aba on the Clockwork, Trina Cup on the Crystal Maiden, and Lakels will play the Anti-Mage. Taking a look at the Dire side, Yamate will be on the Night Stalker, Sharky on the Luna, Winter on the Timbersaw, Ling will play the Chen, and last but not least, it is a name that I did kinda forget. Why is he having only the... Oh, mark this private. Why is he having only the thingy as his name? It should be TFG. Basically. But if it's actually him, hey, we don't know. But that should be him. And TFG is of course too fucking good. Or am I saying that right? Yeah, it should be. Should be. Well, time will tell. I'm sure someone in the chat will either flame me for being mistaken, or hopefully crediting me for having it right. It doesn't happen often from Twitch chat. Love you all though. Don't worry about that. Even if you hate me. Love and hate is there's only a thin line between that, you know? It at least means you care. In some way. Sorry. So, yeah, we're gonna have ourselves one game between these 2 teams. We have a disconnect coming off from Ling's Chen, so... Or, not from his Chen, but from Ling. So we're waiting for him to be back here as, Okay, someone has to go to the toilet anyway, so I guess the pause came in the right time. Taking a look at what kind of thingies we can use. Ooh, I like this. Does it fit with the overlay? Yeah. Oh, it's actually fitting really nicely. Look at that. Same color scheme. Good. good. So, most likely we're gonna see ourselves a Night Stalker on the mid lane with a safe tri lane with a, well, just a Luna and Lion and a Chen in the jungle. Semi-tri lane, I guess I can call it then. And Winter playing the off lane on the Timbersaw. It's the most logical laning that they could do, and they would of course hope for that Night Stalker to start rotating if he's doing well. If he's doing very well and has a good rune, he can do that at minute 4 or minute 6. If he's not doing too well, then it will be minute 8, and then he'll try to make something happen. On the other side, of course, we've got ourselves the Pugna, who will just try to get as much as he can. I mean, this is just a lineup that will depend a lot on the Crystal Maiden and Alchemist to slow Orange down in that mid lane, to hold that Night Stalker in check. Perhaps they are gonna run an aggressive tri lane by the looks of this, but yeah, it's it should be them holding on in the. Hello. It's a panda. Okay. Them holding on in the early game, and then Clockwork should be leveled enough to take over at about minute 15 or so. To hold his dominance over the game, and Pugna will help him with that. Should be getting some towers at that point, and also those towers will help Lakels, because after about 25 minutes in this case, because of the extra tower gold that he should be getting, then he should be coming online to help take down Orange, depending on, of course, how much Orange has been able to shut him down. But that's the plan, and we all know that plans can very much differ from reality. Oh my god, I hadn't seen the new lion. Lion, it's a lion, right? Yeah, it's got a beard and everything. I can't click. There's no magnifying glass. I guess she doesn't have any items yet. Yeah, she does not. Well, it's a tiger with a beard, a black lion, which don't really exist, by the way. So I guess she was jealous of the cat of Mirana. I'm sorry that we don't see Mirana right now. I like seeing Miranas. But let's take a look. Everybody is going towards the top lane, apart from Yamate, who's sitting in mid lane. Of course, using his initials, so once again his name. For people that are wondering why he's always called that, those are his actual real name initials. Clockwork leading the charge here. Clockwork looking to be actually having a lineup that could very well resemble a mid lineup. Alchemist time will come out. Ling gets blasted, jumped upon by Lakels, gets locked in. Cook, that's your first blood right there. Bunsel Roti takes it home. Anti-Mage still moves forward. Goes for a bit of harassment, but he should be fine. He has a blink after all, and that's gonna be your first blood right there. Great reactions coming up from MiTH, and just not hesitating, not really wondering about who is around there, and who might be trying to stop them from taking that kill, but very confident that they had the better early game lineup, and there's no doubt about that. Lion is very squishy, and with only one disable, not really gonna have that much going for him. Chen is not really gonna participate that much, because he doesn't have any creeps yet. Luna wasn't really around there, but her aura is not gonna be enough. Like normally she picks up her aura first, but it's not gonna be enough to help out that much in a fight unless it lasts for a very long time. But then you've got blasts and novas or frostbites and cogs and alchemist stuns, and there's just no way that an early game, well, a 1-1 skirmish goes the way of Orange in this one. The MiTH, knowing that, making sure it works out for them, as they actually put their Clockwork in the middle lane up against Yamate, burning away his mana. Pretty decently done. In the meantime, we have an aggressive tri lane. Yes, rejoice people, an aggressive tri lane with Pugna. Now, I did say during the draft that this sometimes happens. Oh, Aba, careful there. He cannot cogs because he would put... Ooh. He couldn't cog earlier because he would put Yamate in the cogs with him, but very close. And he only has one tangle left, and he only can use that in 1 minute's time. So he is, he's in for a dangerous ride there, as Lakels gets harassed here by Winter. He's by himself. Now an anti-mage up against the Timbersaw will have a tough time, but if he gets enough farm to get his Ring of Health, he should be fine from that point onward. But of course, getting to that point is the scary part. As you can see, Lakels is taking a lot of caution here to not take too much harassment, because he will be forced to take harassment from the tower, from the creeps that are coming in, if he wants to try and find some last hits. But aggressive tri lane. During the draft, I said that we sometimes see Pugna in aggressive tri lanes if, you know, they're just constantly blasting going on, constant push. As we already see Sharky in a bit of a trouble. Then comes in the Crepify, the Frostbite, the Blast. That's gonna be 1 kill. There we go. Another kill going on to for Bung Cell Roti. 2 kills on his name so far. Scary things going on here for Orange on the top lane because, I mean, their lineup has a Night Stalker that gets them through the early game and then a Luna to take off afterwards. And of course Timbersaw to help out with that, but if their Luna can't get anything here, which at the moment doesn't seem to be the case, she's got 2 last hits, she died once, and she's using her mana to try and get last hits. But then, that's actually, I mean, even if from this point onward, this Pugna wouldn't get last hits anymore, just slowing that Luna down is already going to be good for MiTH Trust. They're already getting ahead in a way, making sure that the late game plan of Orange gets delayed. Clockwork might be in some trouble here, but gets himself away. He does have a bottle, so that will help him out. Yamate was able to get the illusion rune. Also has a bottle of his own. As we have a rotation with a creep, a Chen creep, a Centaur. You've got a double stun. Going for the mid lane, going for that Clockwork. There is no creep wave pushing in though, and it's like they're gonna dive this. This is very aggressive. They are still gonna come in. They still want to dive this. The Hex comes out. In comes a stun, the Impale, and that should be resulting into a kill. Test of Faith will finish it up, and in comes Alchemist, already charged up with the stun. Goes for Yamate. Now takes a Void, and all of a sudden, he is the one on the back foot. He is the one trying to run away from this. Isa Tango runs for his life. Is there more mana for the Night Stalker? No, there is not. Impale misses. That's gonna be Chen going down still to the Alchemist. Well, to the tower, but he stood in that poison. So, Alchemist is successful in doing a bit of a merry chase around. And that merry chase round cost Yamate his lane. Because even though Eva died, he is now going to be having free time here while Night Stalker is forced to run back to base and then coming back. And in a way, he's going to be longer away from the lane than the Clockwork has been.
Top tower is under attack.
Because Clockwork was sent directly home and then teleported back in. In the meantime, Lakel sitting on 10 last hits. Winter, 19 for 4. So Lakel slightly behind here on Winter. But as long as he's getting something, as long as he's getting more than the Luna, he'll be okay. Luna so far on 4 last hits, so I would say Lakel's is indeed doing quite okay. Yamate comes back in. It's the first nighttime right now. I'm with full mana, full HP. This is actually a very scary Night Stalker. Level 4 or not. Especially if he finds his way to the bottom rune, which is a double damage rune. Then he will be a force to be reckoned with. Though, of course, Clockwork has a fairly safe self-defense mechanism. If he's able to hog himself in with nobody else there, I mean, if Yamate is not inside, then he should buy enough time for his teammates to come around. And Yamate knows this, so he walks around. He's gonna try to take care of Lakels, who has been joined now by SD. They're gonna dive this though. And why not? Why shouldn't they? Alchemist already charging up his stun. Looking for someone to throw it at. He will be ending up throwing it on himself. No, finds Winter still under the tower. There's not going to be more. Lakels has got another blink of 3 seconds. SD is going to be the prey here for Yamate. Will be ending up dropping, but Lakels lives. Please that's something. Another Nova comes out. The silence as well. Lakel's still around there. I think Yamate did see him. And now they're going to try and take down Yamate instead. But Yamate is just going to get another kill here. Crystal Maiden TP'd in for her death. Now the darkness gets popped. They're not done yet with an anti-mage. And he goes down with a 1 hit from Winter after his chakram was hitting him as well. No blink in time. 2 dead here. 3 dead rather here on the bottom lane. And all of a sudden it is 3-4-4. With Orange taking back what they lost. Of course, Sharky's still struggling there on the top lane, but now that he realized, of course, that all the supports rotated at bottom, he was actually able to get a bit more last hits than he did before. And now that he is away, it is actually up to TFG to get some extra levels and farm here on the top lane, which is really good, because he did this also when Yamate was forced back from the mid lane. He took over the farm there, and he's actually level 4 at this point. And we compare that to the Crystal Main, level 4 as well. Alchemist, level 4 as well, but this Lion, who has not been involved in the kills bottom, and the Lion who has been rotating a lot, he's almost level 5. Really good there for Orange, as a Chen almost level 5 as well. So, meantime bottom, wait a second, that's another Crystal Maiden dead. Yamate not leaving, and it shows. And the support duo of MiTH Trust not able to pull the early game good enough for them. Not able to help out that middle lane. And now they have to wait for the Clockwork to be ready to join in fights, for him to be having some core items up before he can actually take on the Night Stalker, who decides not to go in from behind there. Lakel's 15 last hits now. Now I said earlier that he was okay. Oh, Blink, yeah, you're dead. Hello. I was saying earlier that he would be okay if he's at least able to outlast hit the Luna, but at this point he's not even doing that. Look at the drawing from the minimap. Angry drawing from Lakel's and from the Crystal Maiden, saying, help us please. Hookshot misses here. Nice dodge from Yamate. Goes through the trees to dodge that one. In comes, oh, Trina Cup stayed around too long. Brilliant movement from Yamate. He just gets himself another kill right there. Dominating right now. This is the kind of Night Stalker that everybody fears. And I think everybody has played against this kind of Night Stalker before, where even if you don't die, and with you, perhaps you're the Pugna in this match, your teammates just can't do anything against him. Nice double stun coming off here from SD. The word from the Pugna doing some work as well, but TFG and Link don't get blasted by Bangcell Roti. Perhaps still Alchemist can punch in on Lion, but Lion is full of mana. He just tried to juke that out. He had got another Hex and another Impale ready, or Earth Spike rather in this case. But no deaths here on the top lane. Pugna level 6, he's got his team's mechanism. And that might be the one thing that they need to try and go for that early tower gold, because that's still something that they really need. But if he's gonna get it, if they're gonna get those towers before Orange gets too much out of control, that's a whole different story. Lakel's at least needs a lot more time to get online right now, and that's the thing that the other 4 of MiTH has to try and work towards. Buy time for Lakel's to farm, and at this point they can't even do that because they can't leave Lakel's alone. He might be level 6, but look at his gold, look at his inventory. He still only got brown boots and a shield. Now I'm really hoping for him that there's something in the courier from him. Nope. This is just all he has. This is just all he has, and that is troublesome. He is lower than the Lion in terms of net worth. That's of course also partly due to the tower dropping bottom, but that's just not something that should be happening. Luna, in the meantime, well, she's got a little bit more. She's got her treads ready, and she's also got a Bessie ring, so building for an Aquila. She is actually level 7 at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised that they try to take advantage of the state that MiTH is in right now. They are gonna smoke up, gonna roam around mid. There is a ward of the high ground, but no sentry or nothing to scout it out, so Orange is gonna have free reign. Moving in. Oh, now they go middle instead because the hookshot of Aba, he put himself in danger. They try to go for it. The chakram, the blast is still there. Winter takes a bit of a harassment there. Gets frostbitten as well. In comes TFG with an impale. Gets another double stun coming up from SD. This time Lion will not be able to get away. And actually Pugna's a ward to clear him out once he tried to go for a spell. Ling is still looking for a way out as Clockwork got picked up. Looking for the Crystal Maiden here. Yamate should be getting that kill indeed. A stun comes out from SD. He tries to run for it. He is just a support Alchemist though, and a Calypso gets used even for just him. This is bad. This is, or at least for MiTH it is. 3 dead. All they got in return was a Lion. And of course Lakel's will take this time to try and get some farm, knowing that his team is occupied. And luckily for the Pugna, he was able to teleport himself home, but why am I saying only? I think it was also... Oh no, it was actually just yeah, just 1 extra kill. Never mind. It was only the Lion that died there on the side of Orange. Orange don't get anything off the back of that fight, as in not a tier 1 tower, which they were fighting around. But they do get definitely their value for their smoking. They wrapped around only trying to go for 1 target on the top lane, realized they could get more middle and instantly rotated successfully. So smoke up though for MiTH. They want to try and do the same thing Orange did, want to have a successful rotation. They will find a hook shot with the Luna. Sharky will drop. Nicely done. Dominating Bangcell Roti. This Pugna has been getting all kills for his team this game. MiTH trust 5 to 10. I say all kills. That's not true. Alchemist got 1 as well. He got the Chen here and there in the middle lane. So 4 of the 5 kills he has. There we go. And the other one he doesn't even have an assist for. Now the difference might be, and I'm hoping for MiTH that this is the case, that even though they've only picked up 1 kill, which is of course not as much as Orange was able to pick up, they might be able to get something in return of that. As in, yes, they get the tower. So towers are now even, but that extra gold is definitely something that MiTH needs. Most importantly, definitely something that the Alchemist needs, who now has treads to stay alive a bit longer. We have got 4 heroes here in the middle lane though. Timbersaw still making Lakel's life hell there on that bottom lane. And these 4 heroes of Orange had enough of playing nice Fortification comes out. Yamate actually comes in from the rear here. And SD now charging up a stun. That means that MiTH either has to go in right now or SD has to end up stunning himself. And with Orange knowing that he was gonna stun himself, they move in. In comes the Chakram. Aba, first target. Frostbite still there. Helps him out. Decrepify. Blast not coming in. Yamate still running his way out. Gets hookshot upon by Aba. And this should be Yamate down. The cavalry comes in too late. Winter now has to back himself off as well, which he should be able to because he's got level 4 in the timber chain. There he goes. Alchemist stunning himself once more. No surprise there. But Orange not able to get anything out of that one. They lost their Chen as well. Lost it right around here. So that's going to be a 2-4-0 exchange. And that was just Orange being too aggressive, too impatient to make something happen. MiTH Trust very composed and calm and cool, knowing exactly when Orange has overextended their boundaries. So they could go in. Taking a look at the gold graph. Orange still ahead, but with previous fight happening, and of course the tower going down on the top lane, that gold graph is going towards that 0 line once again as MiTH make a comeback. Experience graph looks the same way, maybe not as excessive because, I mean, the amount of kills still has a 3 kills difference, and that shows. Oh. But still making a bit of a comeback. As we had a disconnect from Ling, but he's back now. Ling, by the way, almost has his mechanism ready unless the courier is carrying it. Nope. Just is building he's the one to build the mechanism. Now, there's quite a big difference between the time of his mechanism and, of course, Pugna's mechanism. And if MiTH wants to make full use of the mechanism of the Pugna, they would try to push a bit harder here on the mid lane. I hope that they will, because they have got a lineup to do that for. And if they do that, even if they might not get the tower, which I think they still should because of Pugna's blast, but at least they'll force everybody of Orange to maybe sit behind their tier 1 tower and leave Lekels alone. That's gonna be their game. They need to give Lekels time to farm. They need to get him to get his battle fury up if he still wants that, which I hope he does. And I need to make sure that he gets that gold. So towers down, early towers down, gets him a bit of an extra boost, which he could definitely use. As you can tell by the net worth, it is just a bit of a sad anti-mage in this regard. Pugna is still highest on net worth though, barely. As we have another disconnect and reconnect. But yeah, I mean it's a very small difference in gold, as you can see. It's just 18 gold or so. But Pugna doing really well. Timbersaw though, this is one of those heroes that, you know, if you don't shut him down early on, it's gonna get more difficult to shut him down later on. So he's gonna get more and more tanky. Winter is doing amazingly well on his Timbersaw right now. He's having control of the lane. He's getting zillions of last hits, and he's going for his Bloodstone, as we can tell. He's 3 for 0 for 2. Been 5 out of the 10 kills. As we have Darkness popped. The smoke is up. TFG, Ling, and Yamate moving towards the mid lane. Perhaps they still want to get their tower. There's a smoke up as well for MiTH though. With pinks coming out from both teams. Teleports coming in from the Luna. They want to fight bottom. They want to take down Lekels. Perhaps Winter can scout out the enemy first. At least SZ will be scouted out already. And in they come. They find everybody. And this is gonna be Crystal Maiden maybe able to force out everybody of Orange with their freezing field. Manavoid doesn't really do that much, as we have Yamate trying to run, still gets avoided. Lekels gets burned to death. Lion gets healed up by the hand of God and will be brought down afterwards, but he did what he needed to do. As Crystal Maiden falls as well, another double stun comes off from SD, but it doesn't matter. This fight is taken by Orange. All they lost was a Lion, and they got 4 heroes in return. Very patient from them. Hand of God coming out at the right time. And of course, the main difference with that entire fight was that Pugna wasn't able to do all in his might to keep his team alive. I mean, he was there, fair enough, but he wasn't able to help enough with his mechanism. It was too much damage coming off from that Timbersaw, too much control coming off from the Lion, and just Luna with her Eclipse. There's no way that MiTH can survive that just yet. And of course Lekels was there, and he tried to go for Mana Void, but it doesn't really do that much damage just yet. I mean, there was barely any mana missing from the Timbersaw, or at least he's not that high of a mana pool yet that it would hurt him or his people around him. MiTH Trust they have to try and get more control. I mean, they've only got 1 or 2 wards up rather. This one is about to disappear. This one about to disappear as well. And they were going for a smoke, missing everybody on the map from orange. And instead of looking for the engagement, looking for orange's heroes, they should have recognized the situation and also should have recognized that orange was also going for a smoke. And in a 5-on-5 engagement, as you just saw, MiTH is not going to win it.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, Sharky, who had a very tough early game,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
is doing actually really well for himself, building towards his BKB. He's got his Abasi, he's got his treads. He's sitting on 1500 gold. He's 3rd highest on net worth for his team. What are people doing here? 5 here in the middle lane for MiTH Trust. Even Lekels is with his team right here. And he's actually decided not to go for Battle Fury. He thinks it would take too long. Alchemist charging up his stun. They won't be able to find anybody anymore though. And Alchemist will end up stunning himself. But 5 heroes here of MiTH, they really are looking to make something happen here. And if they don't make anything happen right now, well, that's going to be them in a world of trouble. Because that's just a lot of wasted time where Lekels could have been farming somewhere. Sharky gets some free reign on the tower. I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, so far there's only 1 tower down on either side, but the difference is so big at this point. 5k gold back again in favor of orange. Experience graph. No change there either. It just goes back in favor of orange, going actually towards the 9k. Pressure comes off. Maybe they can get the Night Stalker. The frostbite is there, but it's still nighttime, and there's no way he's not going to be able to try and make a fight out of it. He goes for Trina Cup. He has got another Void. The stun comes out from SD, but it's not enough. He gets a kill and then runs. He runs and he gets away. Gets a Hand of MiTH or Hand of God out of it. In the meantime, bottom lane will have Luna drop with Pugna getting another kill. Unstoppable right now. A 1-for-1 trade. Crystal Main for Luna. Not a favorable trade for Orange. But it could have been different. Oh, and it might be still different. Yamate hasn't given up yet, and the Finger of Death comes out. Now they go for the Pugna with the Air Spike already being there. Lekels jumps himself in, but he cannot save his Pugna anymore. The hook shot. Ava, the cogs. Winter just gets himself out there with the Timber Chain. Yamate still on the hunt. And actually just takes his team back out of the fight. 2 down on the side of MiTH, with only 1 down on the side of Orange. Well, I say 2 down, 3 down. If you count the Pugna there as well. And of course counting Crystal Maiden is doing that as well. So all of a sudden that Luna dying doesn't matter. That's a worthy trade right there. BKB now up for Yamate. Very scary Night Stalker right there. 7-1-5. He's been involved in 12 out of the 17 kills. Pretty insane. Highest involvement rate of his team. Then again, there's also someone that still hasn't died yet, which is Winter with his Bloodstone. I mean, this Timbersaw, I feel like we haven't even seen him try to get kills. He's just been able to reply to what MiTH does, to what his team wants him to do, like being in a 5-on-5 team fight. But I think if he finds anybody alone at this point, he should be able to kill that person off. Perhaps the chase on an anti-mage would take too long, but he would be able to kill him off. But you know, there might be some reinforcements coming in too fast for the anti-mage. But other than that, yeah, this is very scary. Orange is looking good, and they are looking like they can take this game if they don't make too many mistakes from this point onwards. MiTH though, they feel the pressure. They know that something needs to be done. They're already having the Yashap on the anti-mage, and if they drag this game out long enough, they will have a chance to fight back. For right now, it's going to be tricky, especially since there's another smoker for Orange. Let's see where they go. Yamate already on the hunt, looking for a Crystal Maiden, and he will be revealed soon, or he'll be rewarded soon. Yeah, move forward. Do they have vision there? Nope. They go in now, though. Yep, with the Haste Rune, Trina Cup, Sunbeam charged up, but I don't think it matters. Or maybe it does, but the BKB gets turned on. Crystal Maiden already drops her Freezing Field, not helping out. Pugna goes down as he runs himself away with his Chemical Rage on. That's gonna be 2 heroes picked up so fast, and I mean that Lion didn't even use Finger of Death to kill off the Pugna, but he went down so fast. And that's gonna be the last tier 1 tower on the side of MiTH dropping. Blink dagger now up on the lion. Looking good, looking solid. Another hookshot comes in. They want to try and take down Sharky. They can. Impale still up on 2 people, but Orange TFG just has to run. It's got a blink dagger again in 7 seconds. Perhaps they can get him. Force staff is there for Ava though, and perhaps he can get the cogs out in time. I think it should be, but the blink and the teleport. Force staff, cogs don't reach him. Ava tried. Good effort. Good effort indeed. 1200 gold up in the inventory of Yamate as it's daytime again. His first BKB charge used. And even in daytime, he doesn't care if he's on the so-called wrong side of the river. He's just so confident right now. And he should be. He should be, or should he be? Yeah, he should be. He just turns around, knows that there's a Pugna around, but still can just walk off to the anti-mage and force him back. Anti-mage is sitting on 1k gold again. He just needs a lot of time, but while he is farming, Timbersaw is farming, Night Stalker is farming, Luna is farming, and I mean there's 3 good cores right now up on Orange that are doing really well in terms of item progression. And for MiTH, I mean they totally rely on this anti-mage to carry them through. Yes, Pugna has got some decent control as well, but he is not going to be one of those hard carries that can actually do something against an Alchemist or a Lifestealer, a Night Stalker rather. A Night Stalker of course has got a silence, which is just completely devastating for Pugna. He can't even life drain if that's going to be his choice here, if his goal, going for an Aghanim's, which he seems to be doing, and then life drain himself during a fight. But if he gets silenced, there's just nothing he can do. Hookshot hits up on a teammate. The ward gets placed, but in comes the BKB Yamate looking for a target, looking for the Crystal Maiden, who walks a different route than everybody else, and she is gonna regret it. Maybe still a frostbite, but I don't think it matters. Oh, TP out, that might just be doing the trick. One more hit? Nope. TP out is just in time. Anti-mage still goes down though. He was the one to jump himself into the pit to try and steal the Aegis, but yeah, good luck with that one. They wanted to try and help him out, but the hookshot hit up on SD. Eba misses that one. Haste rune for a Night Stalker. Some scary things he can do. Looks like Orange wants to try and force some kind of movement out of MiTH, but don't get it, so back themselves off, especially since it's turned daytime again. Haste rune or not, daytime is not really your friend if you're a Night Stalker. BKB almost up on Winter. I mean, I already said, like, anti-mage is their main core carry. And I think I only just realized for the first time that the reactive armor actually makes his shield go like over his head. Wow. Did I really never notice that before? Because I noticed it on piglins and stuff, but that's probably what it is. Well, that's awkward that I never realized that before. Wow. Learn something new every day. Anyways, but yeah, anti-mage is going to be the only carry of MiTH, and you know, he is not that big of a threat just yet. As Lakel's just proves that. Mechanism helps him out though. Pugna is going to be one that they really have to be careful about. But if you build BKBs, you're fine against the Pugna. Oh, Mana Void comes out. That's going to be at least a kill for Lakel's. His first kill of the game. Going to be very welcome.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Hookshot. Hits upon a creep only. Eva moves himself back, goes for the blade mail still. As a BKB is ready for Winter. Sharky has got himself his BKB as well. Items being dropped off left and right. Force stuff out of the cogs after forcing everybody of Orange back. Dimmersaw gets himself a Pugna. Why not? Pugna was right there, and then he wasn't. Too much burst damage coming out from that Timbersaw. As an anti-mage actually— come on, why was he still there? That was just greed. He shouldn't have been there anymore. In the meantime, on the top lane, the advance is getting made because they know no Pugna, no mech, no anti-mage, no way of fighting. Crystal Maiden dies first, SD will die second, Eclipse even being burned on him. Only one hero left alive, which is the Clockwork, but him by himself, all he can do is try to get some cogs out, and even that's not all that safe. But that was just, Anti-Mage shouldn't have been there anymore. He saw Pugna die, Winter walking up the high ground, but just that someone walks up the high ground doesn't mean that he leaves. He should have known better. Should have known better. And that's also why my camera wasn't there, because we know he shouldn't be there, but oh well. Sorry for missing that kill. Clockwork, careful there. His teammates are back up again.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's one of the advantages of having fairly low levels. You're alive again very fast after you die. Fortification comes out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Looks like Orange, even though they're very far ahead, they still are careful, especially, well, it was daytime. Now it just turns into nighttime. Maybe they can go with the next creep wave because Yamate is in his element once again. Just need 300 gold for Laghanim's. Question is, does he need it to go high ground? Because it doesn't look like he does. Alchemist already with a chemical rage. Can't stop his tower from taking down though, with no more fortification up. Clockwork positioning himself for a good hook shot. To go in without hitting creeps nor allied heroes. Nice ward up for the high ground for Orange. Silence, they go for it. The Hex is there also. Alchemist will be the first target. The hookshot now comes in. He gets two. Eva four-steps himself out. That Mana Void doing a lot of damage. Kills off the Lion. Now Ling will drop. Chen and Lion dropped. Crystal Main, though, is the one to drop on the side of Myth Trust's side. And with all these bouncing blades, it is gonna be Myth that gets forced back into their fountains. Eva puts down another Cogs, but I don't think it matters. He goes down with another Whirling Death from Winter, who doesn't care about Cogs because he's got that BKB turned on for the first time. 10 seconds safety. Another time Clockwork comes in after buying back, but his Rex already beyond salvage. They will be dropped. And actually the silence comes off. Yamate is not giving up. He's going to continue onwards, but he gets a Crepify. Life Drain is there. Yamate will end up dropping. Yes, he will. Anti-Mage's coming in for the last hit, and also takes down the Aegis. Goes down with it though because Timbersaw was still there, and the Aegis Sharky hand gets burned. The Crepify still there. Not out of the woods just yet. Gets cogged in. Life Drain. He will drop. That's gonna be another kill going away. Orange hook shot in. He catches Winter. Ava doesn't have cogs just yet and might just hooked himself into death. Drops the gem to Winter as well, who takes it. Timber chains himself away. In comes the Earth Spike, making sure no more life drain is possible. And it looks like Winter will be able to survive this. The stun's still flying. Will still hit upon Winter. There will be another Frostbite as well, but he should be able to Timber chain. No, he won't. The gem drops again. Now it's going to be a Lion running for his life. And he is going to be the one to be successful, especially since he blinks over the gem rune. But blinks nonetheless. Blinks away. Only one lane of Rex Orange get, and they actually lose quite a bit for it. Timbersaw, of course, he had enough Bloodstone charges, so he is already back up and farming on the bottom lane. But this is going to be a fight that Myth Trust will take comfort from. They kind of made a stand, and it worked. They used some buybacks for it, but overall, they hold their own after losing Rex. Fair enough. But they haven't given up, and they know they still have a fighting chance, especially now that the Anti-Mage has picked up his Manta style. And as you can see, the graphs are looking very much in favor of Orange. Don't get me wrong, 20k experience, 19k gold. An Anti-Mage all he has to show for his Manta style, but there is hope. There is a chance. There always is hope in Dota. It might be a slight chance only, but a chance nonetheless. Orange will need to make some grave mistakes though. Or overstay their welcome a bit if Myth wants to take this still. Once again though, Myth is one of the teams that doesn't really have anything to fear in regards to not making it to the semifinals straight away. All teams that you'll see today for the Rapture Gaming League are making it to the playoffs. The only question is which of the teams, and that's only the top two, will make it to the semifinals directly rather than going for the quarterfinals. Myth Trust is already number 1 on the list and will only be possible for them to drop to number 2. So they already are in the semifinals. Just depends on which opponents they get. How the seeding is going to be. No fortification still on the side of Myth. They just try to force Orange back. The acid spray is there, the life drain, the blasts. And I get him on Pugna, make sure that he can life drain every single time, even if he gets interrupted. Here comes a stun also up on Yamate, the hookshot in, they want to try. Ling already locked in place. Life drained already, he has a Hand of God, and the Finger of Death comes out on the Clockwork. Crystal Main gets dropped, BKB on for everything, for everyone. Winter turns on his right now as he takes down the Pugna.
Radiant's top
That's
tower
3
is
down.
under attack.
The rest 4 is back into their fountain. Lakel's and SD still there. Stun hits up by Sharky. Lakel's, he's gonna try. He jumps in. The Mana Void. Chen dies, but he gets hexed up, killed off. Earth spikes. GG gets called. Orange will take this game, and we'll be able to still have a chance to make it into the top 2 there of that group. But they have at least done everything in their power to make that happen. Now it all depends on the next game if they are actually able to, because next game we'll have First Departure face Titan, which if First Departure wins, will put First Departure higher than Orange, that is. Of course, once again, you're watching the Rapture Gaming League. My name is Shiver. If you want to follow me and support me, you can always follow me on this channel or on Twitter at Shiver Gaming. Let's jump ourselves into the next game, which once again is a game for the Rapture Gaming League. I guess official starting time for that game is in 30 minutes from now, so we will have a bit of a break. But if the teams arrive earlier, we will also start earlier. So it could happen. It could happen. Anyway, stick around. We'll be right back.